Hey guys, so today, hopefully wrapping up the assembly on this 1939 John Deere A engine. So kind of last thing, working on the engine, we had put the head on and the intake manifold. So now just the tappet assembly and push rods and things. So we'll go ahead and get started on these. Got our way through here. Really long push rods in this thing. This is where it'd be nice if this fan shaft was in here, and maybe I should have put this in first, but we'll get it in. Fan a little bit. There we go. Alright, just like downtown. And we have our actual rocker assembly. So, of course, your ball points go on top. You didn't see them in the last video when I put the head on, but I just threaded these in. It's a little bit different from the later style John Deere's. So we'll get that pressed on. And then we've got two nuts here. The spherical end looks like goes towards the tappet assembly. Once we get these installed, we have to adjust the clearance on these, and I'll show you how that's done. And alright, and then these have a lock nut that go on them. Actually using gloves today for once. Okay, so now the matter of adjustment. So for this, oops, looks like I messed with the cardboard. This will require a feeler gauge. I have one here. Just need to find the measurement I'm looking for. So technically the manual says 20 thousandths hot. I'll need to get this to the correct position on the flywheel. I was just doing my timing video. So we want to get this at top dead center where these are closed, and we want 20 thousandths clearance in it. So give me a moment to get that set up and right. Alright, so I just adjusted this one. So it's pretty simple. I've got say a 20 thousandths feeler here, and I can fish that up there, just squeeze it in. And if I have a 20, let's say a 22, let's go 2 more thousandths. I can't really get that in there, so that's close. But yeah, what I did, pretty straightforward on these. It's even more straightforward, I think, on the later series, is you undo your nut here. I already undid that. And right now, I don't have any play at all, any clearance. So we're gonna back this off. I must have swapped the push rods, even though I tried not to. Because now on the later series where it's just like a nut, if you go to contact and then back off two flats, that equals 20 thousandths. But you can't do that on these as easily, so There is not quite 20 thousandths. I would say right there. I'll lock that baby down. Make sure I don't move that. And again, technically the manual says I think do this hot. I guess I've never gotten it hot and measured it to see, you know, how much of a difference it really makes. So that 20, it's pretty tight. And where's my 22? There's 22. Can't get it in there. All right, so we'll do the other two now. All right, so sadly it's been quite a few weeks since I recorded those last clips. But you can see I did get some other stuff done on the tractor, just simple assembly. We got the radiator on, the exhaust, air intake, carburetor, water pipe, radiator's full of fluid. I don't think I have any leaks, but I saw some coolant this morning. I gotta make sure it's not actually leaking and it was just left over from when I splashed a little bit before. Yeah, so lower pipe on. At this point, what's left is the clutch and getting the flywheel tightened down and the end plate clearance set. Unfortunately, I was spinning it over the other day. I forget why. Look at something. And there was a lot of resistance in the system, even once I took the spark plugs out and things. And I knew something wasn't right, and lo and behold, got a big problem here. So let me show you this up close with the new fan. So I was wondering where all of the friction was coming from, and it turns out this new fan that I put on is a little bit longer than my old fan. I thought A fans were A fans and B fans were B fans and cowboy fans were cowboy fans, but this fan is about a 1/2 inch longer, wider than my other fan, and I've got it just kind of bent over this right now, but it would actually wants to interfere. So you can see I marked that, and it is probably against my better judgment, but I'm going to try and cut these down. Being mindful, of course, that this thing is spinning and a bearing and all that. You want it as balanced as possible. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say other than I'm going to try and get it as even as possible. So apparently this should have had a mid-style fan, and this is probably a later style fan, if I'm understanding that correctly. Or, oh, wait a second, I say that. When you look at the parts manual, there was actually a fan, I think, specific for like 30 and 40, and maybe it was for switching to the unstyles tractors too, but I don't know. I'd never heard of this before. You know, people always talk about switching to the friction drive and all that, and I've never heard anyone say, hey, you need the right fan for that, other than, you know, the model. So, I don't know. Like I said, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to cut this down, and I don't know. Hopefully it'll work. Well, as bad of an idea as it seemed, as many things that could go wrong, I got them all cut, and honestly, went pretty well. Maybe cut off a little bit more than I could have, but not by much. Not on this side. It seems like the other side. I don't know if the whole fan is shifted this way a little bit, and that right side has more clearance, but I got these. So I cut them with a 4-inch cutting wheel, and then took a hand file and just kind of filed them down, so nothing sharp. So yeah, I mean, other than you don't have a rounded corner like you used to, looking at the pieces I cut off, they all seem pretty well consistent. So I don't know. We'll see what she does. Well, I'd say that's enough for this video. Moving ahead, probably next video will be on the clutch assembly, and yeah, at that point I think I'm ready to put the hood on, put some fuel in it, and try and start it. I think, yeah, clutch assembly, clutch fork, got a little bit of work to do on that, replace the pad because it was covered in oil. So yeah, for any of you out there, I'll try and put a note in the video of changing that fan to friction drive. Unfortunately, people won't see the note, so it kind of is what it is. But yeah, when you're switching that, make sure you got the right type of fan. Otherwise, you may have your work cut out for you. By the way, if any of you guys have questions or anything on your tractors, I'm not saying I'm the expert, certainly far from it, but if there's any way that you think I can help you, I appreciate the comments and the questions in the comments. If you want to send pictures, if that helps the comment, you can send them at danielfarmchannel@email.com. Did I say email? Gmail. But yeah, so hopefully just another resource for anyone to reach out to me if you want to. And you all have a good day.